Okay, so probably 10 years ago, we lived in a little neighborhood in a townhome. We had this neighbor that always had me and my sister watch his dogs, or his dog, really. He had one dog. And, we built up a little bit of a trust relationship. He would go out of town, we'd watch his dog for a week.
Nice.
Well, there was one specific time he had a girlfriend, and she was living with him, and she had two dogs. And like his dog was a black lab, her dogs were like Rottweilers or something.
Oh God. Okay.
And a month in advance, he tells me that he's going out of town. I'm like, all right, awesome. I'm gonna make $50 this week.
That was a lot of money. Jason was gonna be rich.
yeah. I'm like 13 maybe, and my little sister was probably 7 or 8. So a month goes by. I'm going about my normal life, going to school, getting home, playing video games. I'm just living my best life. And then like randomly, I get a text from my neighbor, and he texts me and says, "How are the dogs?" And then I'm like, oh shit.
He didn't give you like a heads up like the day before he left?
This guy has been gone for 5 days.
He never like left and just double checked with you?
He did not remind me to watch his dogs, and he texts me a week into his vacation.
How'd you forget though?
Dude,
I don't know whose side I'm on.
I don't know. I should have put it on my calendar. He should have checked in with me.
For
but
real.
I'm like, oh my God. I run over to the house. I get the key. I go in. Bro, the entire place
Oh God.
reeks of dog shit. Like, I'm about to vomit.
Can
And
you
dude,
see it?
dogs,
Is the floor just covered with shit?
There's dog shit everywhere,
Oh
dude.
my God.
It's up the stairs, on the floor, on the couch, on the carpet, everywhere that there can be dog shit, there's dog shit. Like, I'm already about to vomit in my mouth. And the dogs run up to me and they're like, "Oh, thank God somebody's here." Thank God. Dude, I give them food. They all like just scarf down the food. I'm like, "I'm sorry." I give them like 3 bowls of food. I'm like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And then I start walking through the house, and this is like a scene in a horror movie. And like I'm going up the stairs, like dodging piles of shit.
How are they
As I
pooping
walk
on
up-
those stairs? They really ran out of all this room?
I don't know. I walk up the stairs. There's shit all over the carpet
Oh my
upstairs.
God.
I walk into a bedroom. There's shit on the beds. I'm
No.
like, I totaled this guy's house.
What was going through your head? Were you thinking like, I can save this? Or are you like, oh, how do I tell him I forgot? Maybe I'll only charge him half price.
Dude, I don't even remember. I almost blacked out for this entire thing. Like, I was so distraught.
It's like one of those things you want to wake up from. Sounds like a nightmare.
It was actually a nightmare because I had done that a couple of times. Like, he didn't remind me as soon as he left, and like a day would go by. I'm like, "Oh shit! Oh, let me go. Yeah, yeah, I remembered." And like nothing bad ever happened, but like this time it was an entire
This
week.
time the worst possible.
Dude, so there's just dog shit everywhere. And I'm like, "Oh my God." So I'd call him, I'd tell him, he's like, "Oh, are the dogs okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but dude, there's crap everywhere."
And these are
He's
big
like, "Oh my
dogs."
God." It's big dogs and big poop, bro. So he's like, "Do your best to clean it up." I'm like, "Oh God." Okay. So I go back home and I grab my little sister. "I'll give you half the profit if you help me come clean this up." So we go over there.
$25 to go clean a house full of shit. That's terrible.
We go over there with gloves and bags and paper towels and Windex and vacuums and everything. We come over with a whole arsenal of stuff to clean up this guy's house and like scooping all the crap. And it's not like there were a few like solid chunks of crap, but like I suspect that after day 3 it started becoming liquid shit.
Oh no.
So
They're
we're
running
like,
out of nutrients in their body.
dude, yeah, we're like panning shit into a bag, and it was the worst imaginable experience. And like after we got numb to what we were doing, we were like, "Oh, this is no longer poop; it's just brown sludge."
I
We're
don't know
like
if that would ever happen to me.
funny with it.
Oh God.
Dude, we're getting funny with it. And I remember one specific bag of shit. We were upstairs, we piled it into the bag, and I was like, "Hey, watch this." And I tossed the thing down the stairs, and it just splatters into the bottom. It explodes all over the ground.
A full bag of shit, the most amount of shit you could gather, and you put it in one spot. He's gonna see that stain and be like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, dude. Just full bag of shit. Just. I'm Jason.
And I'm Curt.
And you're listening to Bird Bones.
Okay, Jason. What did you learn from this? What was the moral of this lesson? Did he did he ever let you watch the dogs again?
Yeah, he did actually. He's a brave man.
He's a dumb man.
The moral of the story is to keep a calendar.
Oh, that's the moral.
Yeah, don't forget that your neighbor's dogs exist when he says that he's going out of town.
Yeah.
Also, don't throw bags of shit down the stairs. That doesn't go very well.
I'm honestly just proud of you for coming clean. I was afraid you were going to tell me this whole like I Love Lucy scenario where, oh, I cleaned up as best as I could. I didn't want to tell him, so I used bleach, and that ruined these towels. And I tried to clean the towels, but they ripped. I thought you were going to tell me this whole scenario, but you came clean, so you did the good thing.
I won't lie. I went and scoped the place out to see if it was something that I could just be like, oh yeah, the dogs are good. But the second I walked in and almost passed out from the stench, I knew it was over.
Were there like little brown stains all around the place?
Oh yeah, dude. I don't know to what extent
Was he renting?
I don't know. I think he owned it. I can't remember. But I would not be surprised if I learned he had to replace all the carpet in that house because there's no shot.
The sheets.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I easily caused $3,000 worth of damage.
Did you still get your money?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember. I can't imagine you being like, man, that was crazy. $50 please. And then Sarah's like 25 and you're just sitting there. I have almost like the opposite of that story. Not the opposite. I want an excuse to tell my poop story. One day at one of the various fast food jobs I worked at so many, no one will ever know this one, right?
Yeah.
And it was pretty clean. Like it wasn't like one of the grossest places I worked at, but there were some questionable things that the owners would do that I'm like, oh, but they're so clean with this thing. Like they'd make you switch out the what's it called? 3 compartment sinks, or whatever. Like they would be strict on some things. And other things, I'm like, how do you guys not realize how gross that is?
Yeah.
They had these infamous neon yellow gloves that they would always do they would use them to scrub the floors. And they would always offer them like, oh, you can scrub the floors with them. I'm like, I don't really want to wear those. I can just wash my hands after. That's sanitary. Your skin is sanitary once you clean it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they would put them on when they would like bleach the floors. They would also put them on when they would like wash the dishes in the sink. They would also use them when they were making some of the food. And I'm like, oh, that's really gross. I'm going to trust that they're cleaning these because they knew the gross things they were doing.
Are
with
these
them.
like reusable gloves?
Oh yeah, these are like heavy duty. They look like hazmat gloves. Imagine that.
Okay.
So one day we're closing up shop and they're very meticulous, right? They're very like scrub the floors, clean the walls, the baseboards, everything. And then late at night, it's like 10 or 11 or something. I go in the bathroom, open the door, the fucking smell hits me, just instant.
Oh,
like,
no.
I'm like, oh, fuck. Even before I even like see the toilet, like it's a small bathroom, the smell hits me first. And I start walking over the toilet. I don't even have to get like over the toilet to look down into it. Like as I approach the toilet, there is a mound of shit sticking up out of the water. It looked like multiple people have been pooping on the same pile.
What?
And like there's toilet paper in it. And I'm like, yeah, I think I've tried flushing it. Okay. It may have been dumb. It didn't overflow, but I tried flushing it. No avail. Didn't even bubble or nothing. And I'm looking over my coworker I'm cleaning with, and they're laughing their ass off because I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do. And I'm like, this wasn't me. I didn't do this shit. Who took this massive shit? And I'm like, whoa, what customer was in here last? I'm trying to find out who took this massive shit. And I'm like, I guess I have to call my boss. So I call them up. And I was like, hey, I really hate to do this because it was a really nice person, right? And they were very clean. So I'm not trying to be like, massive shit. I chose my words very carefully. I call them up.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, hey, what's up? And it's all late at night. Then I'm like, hey, we got a little problem. I clean the bathrooms really good, but there's just like a really big poopy in the toilet and it won't go down. And they're like, oh, have you tried like using the plunger? I'm like, you're not seeing what I'm seeing. The plunger would just smear the poop around. Like it wouldn't touch the surroundings of the bottom of the toilet. I'm like, the plunger wouldn't do anything. And they're like, okay, go in my office, grab the yellow gloves. Instantly, I'm like, oh. I turn into like fight or flight. I start getting sweaty. All my stories, I get scared. I get real sweaty. And I'm like, oh my God. And apparently my eyes just conveyed the emotion so much that we looked over my coworker, like they knew something was up. And I'm like, what? And they go like, go grab the gloves and then get a garbage bag from under my desk. And I'm like, no. I was like, no, wait.
No.
And they were telling me, I was in shock. I just froze up. I didn't say anything. And they go, then you're going to scoop out the poop and just throw it in the bag and then take it out to the dumpster. And I'm like, and I'm
Oh
like
my
sweating. I dropped
God,
them. I dropped the phone. I look over at my coworker. Like, they want me to scoop it out with the gloves. And they're like, no, say no. That's disgusting. Like, they use these gloves to make the food. And then I'm all like, this is the first and last time, only time I think I've ever said no to a boss. Like, usually I'm a pretty good, like, oh, you know what? I'll go out of my way. I'll bend over backwards for you. These are really nice bosses. And they were really nice.
Yeah.
Everyone there. But I was like, this is where I draw the line. I was like, I can't. No, I'm sorry. I'm not scooping out the poop.
God.
And they didn't stop there. They go, no, just like, it's not a big deal. Just they're gaslighting me. No, just go get the thing and scoop it out. And I'm like, I can't say no again. I was like, I'm a good boy. I'm a good little corporate simp. And I was like, no, I can't scoop this poop out. And they're like, oh, and they were like disappointed in me. They're like, oh man, okay, I guess I'll have the other manager do it. A sweet old lady will do it in the morning. And I'm like, oh, sucks to be them. Good night. And then I just left that toilet and they're marinated. And I'm sure it turned into soup overnight.
Oh,
that was just my excuse to tell you about a time that I didn't clean up the poop and I still got paid. Boom.
Dude,
See, it does come all opposite.
That's the thing, dude, is you get paid the same either way.
If I touch the poop or not. Dude, because I was always scared of those gloves. Isn't it? I always was scared of those gloves. I'm like, it's kind of weird. They clean the floors, but they also clean the dishes with them. Then they touch the food with them. To know that when faced with a poop problem, they have the same gloves. Still miss that place, though. I stopped eating there that day, though.
I would really like to know if they change out the gloves often.
Yeah, I know. Like, even if they bleach them.
I don't care. Once it touches human shit, they have to go.
They got to burn those things. You got to cut off your own arm, too.
Just burn the whole place down, bro. If that happens, it's over. Shut the doors and lock everything up and just move.
On a brighter note, I had jury duty a couple weeks ago, and I haven't got to tell you about it because life's been hectic.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Nothing really cool happened. I go to jury duty. I didn't get called, and I wanted to get called. 12 Angry Men is one of my favorite movies. I didn't even get called. The most memorable thing about the entire ordeal was driving home, and I was like, oh, it's like an hour to drive home. And I was like, what do I do? And I was like, oh, Jason's always talking about listening. He's like, you always got to listen to Twen. You got to listen to One Stop Shop, the entire album all the way through. And I was like, well, this is the perfect time. I kind of don't know what I want to listen to. Oh my God. It was the most heavenly experience ever. Because the courthouse I had to go to was like right on the verge of like another city. So like it was almost like a countryside as LA gets. It was like a countryside drive, a beautiful like 75 degrees out, window halfway cracked. One stop shop for a fading revolution.
Dude.
It was surreal.
You have experienced that album in a better scenario than even I have. I discovered that in the heat of the summer. It's been 110 degrees every single day, and I've hated life for the last 3 months. Like, I cannot wait for it to get cold simply so I can listen to that album more.
Dude, that was the most beautiful experience I've ever had listening to any kind of music. Like Foundations of Decay, I want to say that was a beautiful day because I wasn't at work, so I could just like lay down on my bed, put the AirPods in.
That was a glorious day.
That was the most beautiful day of my life. But listening to Twen, the entire album was a perfect length to get home. Maybe I re-listened to the last song twice, but it was a perfect length to get home. Window cracked, hair blowing, full tank of gas, most beautiful thing ever. And
oh my God,
in my head, here was the best way I can summarize why I get Twen now. Okay, because at first you're telling me like, dude, you were like hyping up the CD, like, dude, you gotta listen to Twen. It's the greatest thing ever. And I put it on and I was like, one stop shop for a fade. It was like, just like kind of like, I love it now. So I don't want you to think I'm shitting on it. I love Twen now and I love this album. But I first heard it, I was like, yeah, it's kind of like, it's there. Like, it's good. But
yeah.
And here's the best way I can summarize how I feel about it now. I'm gonna take you back for a little bit. You know all the memes about like LaCroix and how someone's like, hey, a new LaCroix flavor. And they put like the water under the tap and they go like, there's an apple in the other room.
Yeah.
I would laugh my ass off at those memes all the time. And then I forgot who it was. Some YouTuber talked about how like, no, like you're not giving LaCroix its proper, like it's good, but your mouth has just been so fucked by like Coke and Pepsi and root beer that you can't enjoy simple tastes.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were saying like only drink LaCroix for like a month. This was like 2 years ago and I haven't stopped. You stop drinking soda, you drink LaCroix, and then you go, oh my God, like I taste the flavors now. And then some things like coconut and limoncello go, this is too flavorful, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was doing with LaCroix. That's what I was doing with Twen. I have been listening to nonstop, like just metal and very theatrical My Chemical Romance where like it demands your attention. So it's like a nice drive and I put on Twen. I was like, I get it now.
Dude, I feel like
this is delicious.
A lot of music, you can like you can sit there and listen to it all you want, like in your living room or bedroom or whatever, or while you're working. But like most songs do not hit until you drive with the windows down and that shit's turned all the way up.
I'll say it's also dangerous to listen to music on like a good day while you're driving, because I'll never forget. I love Early Sunsets Over Monroeville by Mike M. But that was the first song I was ever pulled over to. So every time I put it on, that's like the first thing that comes to my head. Every time I listen to that song, I think about getting pulled over when I'm driving.
Dude, I wrecked my Mustang to Sweet Emotion by Aerosmith.
I know it was a minor crash, but I'm imagining you just upside down, sweet emotion.
It's like I was vibing, and that's probably why I crashed. No, dude, that song was like one of my favorites of all time, and I still love it. And I finally am over that. Like I don't really think about it as much because I've made like more memories with that song, and it's been so long, like it just doesn't matter anymore. But yeah, I don't think I've ever gotten pulled over to a song. Oh, that's a lie. The last time I got pulled over, I was listening to Cocaine by Riff Raff. It was
perfect.
Displayed like brightly and proudly on my screen when the guy walked up to my window, and I'm like, nice. And then I got a ticket, so that was pretty cool.
Do you have any other songs like that is okay, but then the story makes it better? Like some songs, I don't really care, but the music video plays in my head when I listen to it, and now I enjoy it. Like I'll admit, I didn't like Ave Adore that much. I was like, oh, it's kind of funky, bonk, bonk, like however it goes. But the music video is so trippy.
Oh, dude, I love that song.
I know, I liked it at first, but I was like, it wasn't, the music video, you can't lie, makes it 1,000 times better when it's in your head.
I can't lie, I haven't even seen the music video for that song, and I already adore that song.
Dude, it's like this long one-take shot of like, it's Billy Corgan, but he's dressed up as like a vampire. I forgot the name of the vampire.
I mean, honestly, the Na 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 music video, I would have never gotten into My Chem if it wasn't for that video. And there's several people that I know that are like, have said the same thing about that music. They're like, that like, either I had already, like I'd gotten out of My Chem for a while, or I became a new fan because of like that reunited the world.
I promise that I didn't ask. It's not one of those things where I ask you the question just so you can ask me the question. I promise. I know I do that a lot. This was not one of those things. I just remembered something funny. It was when I found out r/RBI. You ever heard of r/RBI?
No.
It's like FBI, Federal Bureaucracy Investigation, something like that, but it's for Reddit.
Oh, okay,
it is the coolest thing ever. Like, it's one of those subreddits that the top posts of all time are so crazy, but then you subscribe to it and like everyday mundanial posts fucking suck. So like one of the top posts of all time is this guy, and he's trying to find out, like he got in a hit and run, and the dash cam footage shows the car driving away, but you can't make out the license plate. You can, like the thing was really close to the camera. You can pause on any frame, but it just looks slightly different every frame because it's just that blurry.
Yeah.
So a visual effects artist went in there and he motion tracked the license plate, and then he stabilized it so that what would switch between like white and blue. I forgot. I think the license plate was like white and blue, like California.
Yeah.
And when you stabilize it and you play it fast, he was calculating like, oh, which pixels are more likely to be, which pixels are blue more, which ones are white more. And he got it down to like a handful of options, and they knew what car it was, and they searched, they like Reddit came together and found the guy who hit and run. They found like one car registered with that license plate with that kind of car. And like, this is the craziest subreddit of all time, right?
Yeah.
So I followed it because I saw it on something, so I followed it, and then I start getting these. I start seeing the posts every day. I saw this one post that really just like, for some reason, it hit me. I think it's because the guy had a good backstory behind it. His thing was like, my dad had this one song that we would bond over. He said like, oh, before the song starts off, it kind of has like a, what's it called, like a prologue or epilogue or something, where there's a woman underwater on the phone. You hear the phone ring, and then when the person talks, there's like bubbles coming out of their mouth. And that's what he said. And so everyone's trying to find out what song it was, right? And my first thought was like, because, you know, he's not going to be 100% correct. So you got to think of some things that don't fit that. So my first thought, like everyone else, was I knew it was one of the songs off The Wall by Pink Floyd, and I think it was Young Lust, because it starts off with a woman, and she sounds like she's underwater, but it's really just like it's kind of like a low pass or something. And she's like, hello, hello. That's how the song starts off. The guy says, no, it was not that song, but it was close. My dad listened to Pink Floyd, and he listened to songs like this was before 1990 something. It was after 1980 something. He put all these things to it. And people were like, oh, is it Telephone Line by Electric Light Orchestra? And I put my own thing. I was like, oh shit, I think it's this one song by Kate Bush, because it starts off and it goes, it's just sonar going bloop, bloop. And she's like, hello, Earth. Something like that. And I thought I cracked it. And he goes, nope, that's not it. Everyone's trying to find this fucking song. Someone's like, is it Steely Dan? They're trying to find, because that's the kind of songs his dad listened to.
Yeah.
And I was like feeling his frustration because I was trying to find the fucking song, right? I was like asking ChatGPT. I'm like, hey, what's a song that came out this time?
You're involved now.
I'm emotionally involved. I saved the post. I came back day after day. It wasn't until I saw the update. The guy's like, oh my God, I found the song. It wasn't, if you're trying to guess the song at home, here's your one hint. Here's the one thing you got wrong. It wasn't a girl's voice. It was a guy's voice. So pause now if you want to recalculate your answers. It was a guy's voice, starts off and he's talking, blah, 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 he's talking like that. The song, it's called I Go to Rio by Pablo Cruz extended version. He said like his dad died. He couldn't find out the song, all these things. And I was like, oh, I'm kind of emotionally invested in the story. It wasn't like I hit play on the song that all of a sudden I was this guy and I'm looking at my dead dad. I'm like, this is beautiful. The song's like, I go to Rio. And I'm imagining this guy's life having a great time with his dad. And now it's like one of my favorite songs of all time.
Bro.
Hello? Hello, Bill. This is Pablo. Where are you? I won't be able to make it today because I'm at the bottom of the pool.
Oh, hell yeah.
Dude, it goes fucking hard. It's a banger, and like the song's good as it is, but then you have a whole story behind it. I'm this kid, and that's my dead dad, and I miss him.
Yeah, dude. Well, there's also songs where like there's a story behind how the song was made.
Oh, I love those too.
And it makes you appreciate the song. Like there's a Christopher Cross song that my dad always talks about, and it's Arthur's theme, the best that you can do song. And like the story with that is that Christopher Cross was like going to a meeting with the executives of the show of Arthur or whatever.
Mm.
And he had to play them a song. And he's like, I don't know what, like I have like a general outline of how I want it to go, but I don't have a hook. I don't have a chorus.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I need a chorus for this song, and nothing's making sense. And he's on a plane and they're flying. He's landing in New York. Well, like their flight keeps getting like they can't land. So they're just flying circles around New York. And the guy next to him, after like circling for an hour or two, the guy next to him says, man, don't you just love when you get caught between the moon and New York City? And he was like, oh my God.
I got goosebumps. I'm not even kidding.
He's like, that's it. Can I use that in a song? And he's like, yeah, I guess. So now the chorus of that song is, you can get caught between the moon and New York. I can't, hold on.
That was good.
Now the chorus to that song is, you could get caught between the noon. I can't sing it. Jesus Christ, I keep saying between the noon.
You got this.
The chorus of the song goes,
if you get caught between the moon and New York City.
Jason, that was beautiful.
yeah. My dad like is filled with the Christopher Cross facts.
He's a big Christopher Crosser.
He's a Christopher
I don't know what their
Cross.
fans are called.
He's a crisscross.
He's a crisscross. Ain't as good as bird boners, but yeah.
Sailing is about literally him and his family going out on the lake in a sailboat when he was a kid. Simple as that. Banger song.
Okay, what's a song that's ruined for you because of the background? What's a story that ruins a song for you?
I mean, one song that's ruined for me, there was also another car wreck song.
Oh God, I don't want to bring up your bad memories. I'm trying to say, okay.
I know. I don't know of anything that there's a story behind the actual song itself that ruins it for me. But like, She Made Me by the Brian Jonestown Massacre was when my first Jetta got totaled.
Mm.
And like that song had just came on. If you listen to that song, it is like the best song to get your car totaled to. Like, dude,
You have to get your car totaled.
On,
put on this one. Put on Brian's
yeah,
channel.
dude, the song came on, the light turned green. I went and then basically got T-boned, and it was just like, like in slow motion. I was like, whoa, like as my car spun around in the intersection, and then I was like, damn, turn off the music and got out of the car.
The song's like the Ring VHS tape. If you put that on and you're driving, you're gonna get T-boned.
Mm-hmm.
It's that one song by Snow Patrol on Grey's Anatomy. If I just lay, and that's the song they play before anyone dies. If you hear that just coming out of the sky, like fucking run. If I just lay here, what the fuck?
Run away as fast as you can. Bro, I had something that I've been meaning to like ask you and slash a little story that I wanted to tell you.
You know I love stories, Jason.
When you were younger, did you ever have like the friend, and please God don't say me, but the friend.
You're my only friend.
Did you ever have the friend that would just blatantly lie about the stupidest shit?
Oh no, thank God that wasn't you. No, I know the friend. It's both our friend. Want to say it at the same time? 3, 2, 1. Sean. Okay. Yep.
No, but this story is not about him. It's about somebody that I knew. I think before I met you. I don't remember a whole lot, but like back in like the probably 5th or 6th grade, I had like a couple of friends, and this is around the time that's like the Speed Racer movie came out.
Oh my God. Okay, sorry. That's a CGI masterpiece, but I won't. Yeah,
banger movie, right?
The Wachowskis.
And like I went over to a friend's house. I want to say that he was having like a birthday party, or I had a Speed Racer themed birthday party or something, but Speed Racer was a topic that we were talking about. And there was one kid, and he was just straight up telling everybody at the gathering that he went to Speed Racer Land and like raced the Mach 5 or whatever it was.
The Mach 5, good job.
Like doing the race, and he was like telling us the like play-by-play rundown of how the race went. He's like, yeah, so I went here and I did this, and then I got in the Mach 5 and I was racing down this hill, and then I jumped up and like went over and I barrel rolled over this guy, and then I took him out of the race and like blah blah, and then I won.
What?
And
wait, sorry, real fast. Is Speed Racerland a thing?
No, he's just like
sorry, boss. I thought you were gonna tell me like it's an amusement park and there's like a fun ride. What the fuck is Speed Racerland?
He's just like acting like he was in Speed Racer.
Okay, this is even sadder. I believed it. I thought it was like a ride at Universal.
No, dude, he's just acting like it was a real thing, and everybody was like, I don't know if because we were all young, like I obviously knew it was bull. I was like, no way, you're full of shit. Like, but like I feel like the other kids believed him, dude. And I'm like, how can you get away with this stuff?
That'd be me. I'd believe him.
But yeah, I don't know. I thought about that the other day, and it's been bugging me, and I wanted to see if you had any experiences like that.
I was never one to just like lie like that. Like, you know, I'll exaggerate, but I honestly have like that's such a guilty thing. Like when you tell a story, you know where to pause, you know what to exaggerate, but you never change the facts. You never like, if someone says something, you can maybe change the way they said it, but you can't change those words. You can't do things like that. That was like my concept. So when people just bold-faced lied to me, I was like, that's probably their concept too. They're telling the truth. Where is Speed Racer Land? How'd you do this? Tell me the details. This is amazing, right? Because that's how my mind works. I just can't fathom lying like that.
I cannot imagine just like coming up with something totally false and just saying it.
Like I told you, dude, I think I told the story like a week or two ago, but like when everyone said their dicks were like 20 inches, I was believing them. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, I'd fall for Speed Racer Land. Dude, we don't miss. What a banger episode. Maybe too much poop stories? I don't know. I like poop stories. Thank you so much for listening to Bird Bones. And while you got your phone in your hand and you're queuing up another episode, why don't you also drop us maybe like a 5-star review or something? Maybe a comment on the YouTube or subscribe or something?
Maybe even 6 if you can.
Maybe even 6 if you find a way. But also while you got your phone in your hand and you're doing all that, why don't you also queue up Jason's Song of the Week? Jason?
Ooh. This week we're going to have to go with The Coast by Family of the Year. It's a band that my stepdad introduced me to, and it's a really nice, mellow kind of vibe with a nice chorus.
Dude,
pretty catchy.
I swear, our podcast is meant to be binged, and that playlist is meant to be like listened to all at once. It's so curated and beautiful.
I try to keep it flowing, keep it nice.
It's perfect. Next time on Bird Bones.
Bro, if you don't moan to destroy us...